Mm. Hello, good afternoon, everyone. And for those who are watching us from different time zones, good morning or good evening, wherever you may be. And if it's the first time that you've seen me and has been to my platform, my name is Marilyn. I'm the founder and CEO of Customized Training Solutions Private Limited, or CTS, and we brand ourselves as the Asia's most trusted training and business solutions partner. We create programs that adds value and impact for leaders to stay relevant, adapt to the next normal, and ensure performance of a hybrid team. And we have a special session today, which is so much around cybersecurity. I've shared with you some data on cybersecurity earlier, and just to highlight some of it, because the first event that we're doing is in the Philippines, and the reason why is because the cyber crime cases is up to 400% in 2023, according to DOJ, or Department of Justice. And as you know, this is not only in the Philippines, but also all around the globe. According to the World Economic Forum, we have cyber insecurity is fourth in the top 10 risk, according to the survey or forum, we forum global risk perception survey on 2023 to 2024. And of course, I believe that it's not just all about the money spent, but it's also about for businesses to avoid operational disruption, brand damage, loss of revenue, and more. And of course, today our topic is around navigating industry specific cyber threats and what will be the best practices and solutions. Having said that, and I would like to invite our panelists for today. I'm left with two handsome guys, Apple, Salud, and Kanas. Hello. I'll just introduce Kanas first. He is an adjunct faculty at the La Salle College of St. Benilde and the La Salle University, Manila, and cybersecurity supervisor at the National Grid Corporation of the Philippines. And he holds a master degree in information security from the La Salle University, Manila, where he authored a thesis on implementing a cybersecurity incident response playbook in Philippines for Power Grid Company. KNAS is the first Filipino in on the International Council of E-commerce Consultants Global Ethical Hacking Leaderboard and has co-authored a paper on the expanded 128-bit data encryption standard. So without so much further ado, please do say hi to our audience, KNAS.
Hello. Good morning, good evening, and good afternoon to everyone.
Thank you. Thank you for joining us. And another handsome guy is Apol Salud. He's a goal oriented executive with over 22 years of visible achievements in planning, developing, and implementing leading edge technological solutions to address business opportunities and facilitate business growth. Remarkable qualification in all aspects of system and network administration, management and maintenance, network or server operations, and both hardware and software solutions. Hi, Apple.
Hi, hi Marilyn. To everyone, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone.
Thank you. And because there's only two of you, you will be answering more questions for our guest. And if you are a guest or someone who's watching us live today, do join us in this conversation. And I'm flashing the title again. It's really around best practices and solutions on industry specific cyber threats, right? So to start with, I have introduced both of them, and I'm just curious to know if they can share their experiences in terms of what are the common pitfalls and challenges in the industry that they are actually uh, like working today or in the last few years that they have been working with cybersecurity. Would you like to start, Kanas?
Okay. Regarding your first question, primary cybersecurity threats, for example, since I'm working in power utilities and education, so most likely we experience the primary target for that industry is most likely phishing, right? So, yeah, because phishing is one of the most easy, right, to like for initial vector for an attack. For example, you will send an email for a employee or a student. So if that people, for example, the student like possible if with the system I can get credentials of a specific type of student or even the employee. So that
Sorry, you're actually a bit cutting off.
hello.
Yeah, that's
Yeah, sorry,
better.
sorry. Yeah, I'm
Sorry,
sorry again.
Tina.
Yeah, sorry. For my experience, since I'm working in utilities and education standpoint, right? So we experience the most primary cybersecurity that we are experience is more on phishing. So
Fishing.
actually, yep, phishing. We experience phishing in the same organization. For example, in education standpoint, some guys are creating a phishing link, and then when you open the website, it is a um, education logo, and then most likely, if parang ano, it's like similar to the original URL. So one of some of the students reported that they have been infected of that
Mhm.
specific type of attack because not all students are aware with phishing, right? So for
Mhm.
example, you are not in a technology course, right? So most likely, I think 60 to 70% you will click the link, right? So if you don't, for example, implement security awareness, even though that is not a technology degree, right? So you'll be victimized by the cyber criminals. So that's one for the education. Next, for the utilities, most likely it's phishing. Even though there are many solutions like email security, you
Mhm.
have security awareness, but still this nasty or this cyber criminals are creating creative ways to bypass the security measures, the inbox of the um, user. So most likely, if this user didn't also implement, for example, they are not aware with different kinds of scenario in phishing campaign or phishing types of attack, they will be victimized. So that's my answer.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing with us. And it's interesting to know, before we started, I actually mentioned that I have done a research around like the different industry specific challenges when it comes to cybersecurity. And it's interesting to know that there are actually different kinds of um, threats that each industry, it like is unique to each of the industry. So would you like to share with us, Apple, when it comes to, for example, in your industry, telco, and other industries that you've been in, like what are the common threats or pitfalls that your industry face?
Okay. Probably I'll start with the latest industry that we're into mostly cloud telephony. So we're actually providing solutions to telcos.
Mm-mm,
So and it is also very connected to the telco industry. So very specific to the telco industry. Most of the time, it's really trying to get the attacks is really targeted towards getting the PII or targeting the database, pretty much similar to what Kane has mentioned. Phishing is very prevalent
mm-hmm,
among the telco, and I think I mean, most of us Filipinos have experienced the scams around smishing attacks. So those
mm-hmm,
are the most of the attacks that's not really targeted towards the telco, but to the customers of the telco. Now, going on the side wherein attacks that's also very related to the telco. The telcos, they have most of the telcos here in the Philippines. They have a pretty much mature cybersecurity organization. They can well defend themselves. They have enough budget, but they have to also be careful, which they are doing, is with their trusted partners. So
mm-hmm,
on the side, if you are a provider like us to a telco, you might be saying, "Oh no, we're just a smaller company compared to a telco." But
mm-hmm,
what will happen is that since they would like to target the telco, they will go through their trusted partners or suppliers. So we call this as a supply chain attack. So this is what we usually encounter on the supplier side. And most of the time, what's notable that we've seen is they're trying to do is a more on brute force attack. So they
mm-hmm,
would like to know what is the default username password that you are giving, putting in your on the equipment or the, let's say, the softwares there that you're supplying to telcos. So usually there are default passwords, and they're trying to get that. So so when you talk about threats, so we almost are getting almost the same threats as the telcos, except that
mm-hmm,
the default is really more on brute force attacks. In my previous roles also, I used to work for a distribution utility company. It's actually a
mm-hmm,
conglomerate wherein it also has a power generation company. So
mm-hmm.
most of the attacks that we've encountered there is initially are DDoS attacks. But the DDoS attacks really is more of really just testing the grounds. So they would like to test if you have enough protection. Then the second topmost that we've experienced in that utility company is really more on brand damaging attacks. So what they do is they target the customers. They simulate a website, or through social media they will do a promotion like, we'll take 1,000 off your bill if you click on this, if you apply to this promo. And once you
Okay.
click on that promo, it's actually a phishing or a credential harvesting site. So there was one incident wherein we have to take down around 23,000 websites in 2 weeks time, just
Wow.
to control that situation. Then I've also worked with the fintech side. Previous to that, we're in during the early days of that fintech side. We were one of the pioneers of Kubernetes
Mm-hmm,
in the Philippines, and the challenge really is the tech people are quite advanced in terms of the use of cloud, such as containers. Wherein way back in 2017, 2018,
mm-hmm,
maturity of container security in Philippines is not that mature yet. So some
mm-hmm.
back then we have to go through our own sidecar development of container security that we have to attach for each pod. So yeah, I think that's mostly the
Hope
things I'd like to share.
I got this right. Brand damaging attacks like phishing and harvesting attack. Did I
Credential harvesting.
credential harvesting? Okay. Quite similar to the terminologies in agriculture. Fishing, but of a different spelling.
Yes.
Thank you for sharing like specific cases or examples of how and how the cyber attacks are being made, and what are the common pitfalls and challenges that different industries actually face. And of course, obviously, you'll be sharing with us as well, like, so what are the measures or specific um, like ways for you to be able to prevent that. And part of that is my next question to Apple, where in like how can organization in different industries be able to tailor their cybersecurity strategies to be able to also address those unique challenges that they face, and potentially maybe to collaborate with each other. Because like one of the common things that you made mention, and what I've actually seen in the research, is really so much around phishing as well as data breaches, right? Around those two challenges. So what will be your take and like strategies to
So,
address all the challenges?
okay. Let me start first with what's common across the industries that you mentioned, that you have observed, right? So across the industries, it's really on the phishing side.
Mm-mm.
On in a system, the weakest link in the system is always the human side. It's not the hardware. It's not the software. If you see people who are saying that we will hack over your firewalls, that's only in the movies. So what will be targeted are the people. They are the weakest link. So it's really, for me, initially it's really, you strengthen the security awareness and participation. So it's not only, it should not be, so let me stress that out: participation. It should not only be awareness. People within the organization should participate in cybersecurity.
Mhm.
You will hear repeatedly from most CISOs or security leaders that cybersecurity is not the responsibility of the cybersecurity organization alone. It's
Mhm.
everyone's responsibility. It's from boardroom to basement. So everyone should not only be aware, but should also participate. So even though if you've taken so many, even if you pass so many exams on the security awareness, but if you still keep on using simple passwords, you not use MFA, you do not practice security design reviews. So none of those will be. I don't think the security awareness will be very effective. And I think, second, for each and every industry wherein it should be unique, is we call it the security risk assessment or security design review. It's very important that most different industries will have different technologies deployed,
Mhm.
and it is there where the tailor fitting is happening. So, and those different technologies will have different entry points, backdoors, or probably vulnerabilities that needs to be tested. Which brings me testing, which brings me to my third point. Um, Testing should not only be happening before production. You should continuously test your systems, may it be through red teaming, VAPT, or CTF. So continuously test your systems, so that you'll know what are the pitfalls that you have in terms of your systems within the security. And lastly, always keep everyone informed, especially top management. So always have that drill, cybersecurity drills. So pretty
Mhm.
much, if we do fire drills, we have earthquake drills. It's very rare actually that I see organizations practice cybersecurity drills. So that when S hits the fan, uh, people don't know already what to do. You don't know what to tell the press. The board will be breathing under your neck. So everyone will be in panic mode, and the chaos adds to the makes it easier for the hackers to move into the organization and be able to achieve their goals instantaneously.
True, true. And that's very interesting because when we had our conversations, our first few conversations around cybersecurity, what we have discussed is really so much around people, human factor
Mm.
in
Mm.
cybersecurity. And I really love that you reminded us again that, it's everyone's responsibility. In fact, Kainas, you joined us, right, in the first few sessions we had, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Around, I think you've joined the user by design, right?
yeah. So most
Yeah.
likely,
So
the recommendation is also to perform security awareness.
mhm. Exactly. And it's all about, and the question that went to Kanas during that time is also around the training. And again, as you've mentioned,
Yeah.
that it's because it's everyone's responsibility. Everyone has to go through awareness education, and it has to go through from the top, the C levels, to the even um, the intern that they have in the organization, right? Because again, the people are the weakest link, unfortunately. And you mentioned some of the common like pitfalls that companies or organizations go through are actually phishing, and this involves people as well. So thank you
Mhm.
for reminding that. And that's a great reminder for us that it's always an ecosystem. And that's also the reason why when I thought of having this summit or these conversations, in fact, it's actually covering several kind of things, from human factors to infrastructure. Because again, you reminded us both that it's not just the technology that you're using, it's not just about the infrastructure, but how are we actually educating the team to be able to address all of these. So that leads me to my question to Kanas. What are the best practices for training and awareness programs that can be tailored to the specific needs of the different sectors?
Actually, I'll answer it straight to the point. No? So,
Mhm,
first one, for example, in you're in education and you want to perform training to student, what kind of training will be performed? It's
mhm,
not, for example, no, they're student, but you will apply them security awareness for supply chain. No, so
mhm,
you must tailor fit the requirements, not necessarily to the role on the each specific on the organization. For example, again,
mhm,
you're a technical support, right? So most likely, your topic will be technical support security and how you will prevent user. For example, uh, the best scenario is like in technical support when you perform such privileges, right? So you need to have an admin. So in security awareness, you can tailor fit a topic. If you're a technical support, do not give local admin, for example, for end user, right? So that's the first one. Next scenario, no, you will tailor fit the role to the student, no. So if, for example, if you want to prevent phishing, so check the link first, like that, no. So it depends what kind of role that you will be performing in security awareness, but specific to that role lang, no?
mhm.
So I think that's the straight to the point answer that I can give in to perform tailored to specific needs of the sector regarding is the same as well as in critical infrastructure and education perspective. So yeah.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing it with us. Your answer, your very practical answer, I would say. Because again, like it's despite that there are like commonalities and there are differences as well. It's really about the tailoring or customizing the programs depending on the role that the attendees or the audience would
Right.
have, right? So and again, that's the reason why we really have to think about the entire ecosystem when it comes to creating cyber resilience, because obviously cyber resilience doesn't happen
Mhm.
with just people, with just technology. It has to be the entire process, and the considering the whole ecosystem that gets involved, right? In this particular or different scenarios, whatever your industry may be. So
Yep.
that leads me towards the end of our session, which is actually what I call my Mr. Universe question in this matter. So and this is the common question I have for both of you. Like, if you have a magic wand and can use it, what will you do with it? Particularly in like improving cyber resilience in the Philippines, or in the at least organizations that you work with. You
Um,
know, Apple, yeah.
okay, for me, so one wish, it's like one swish of a wand.
Uh-huh.
Um, Really, it's more of breaking down the silos and having more collaboration, in real collaboration. Um, Admittedly, whether whatever industry, may it be in the private sector, public sector, whichever industry that you go to, there are silos within the organizations, most of the time between the technology organization and the cybersecurity organization, sometimes even the business unit organizations. They
Mhm.
have siloed thinkings wherein tech will go be doing their own way, business will be doing their own way, security organization will be doing their own way.
Mhm.
Hence, it will be it's chaotic, and there nobody is achieving well for their organization. So if I have a magic man, it's really breaking that silos and having a real collaboration towards digitalization and security transformation.
True. I really love what you've shared, and I really hope you also have that magic wand that you can use um, to do this, right? And it's interesting because I just had this recent conversation. That was, I think, last week over lechon with a
Wow.
Singaporean friend, right? And we were actually thinking through about this particular event, because the main goal is to be able to work together
Mhm.
collaboratively to come up with solutions in how can we actually solve this in as much organizations. And he said that the dilemma that I have is actually I wanted to put together different people from business leaders to
Mhm.
technical leaders, similar to both of you, who knows a lot what you're doing around cybersecurity. But I also want the implementers to be there as well as the government, because government are obviously like facilitating the regulations, compliance, governance around the space of cybersecurity. And that goes back to what you've said about breaking silos and or more organizations or even communities, or for this matter countries, to work together collaboratively, right?
Yes,
Because that's
that's true.
that's the challenge. As long as you keep on working on your own in silos, cyber resilience will not happen, right? Unfortunate truth. So so, and that's the reason why through this event I'm actually creating a platform where everyone who's relevant has to be there and to have that conversation, because otherwise it's gonna be difficult to break the bias and also to address
Mhm.
the ecosystems and the different challenges that we are facing as an organization. So I really appreciate your magic one. And how about you, Kanas?
Actually, I really love to answer straight to the point. You know? So if I have a magic wand, I hope user read their email carefully. So that's my answer.
This
Yeah,
is to
that's true.
avoid
Yeah,
phishing, right?
real life scenario.
And it's
So
very interesting, in fact, Kanas, because um, I have been working in different organizations in the last 20 plus years. No,
mhm,
most of them are in the hospitality industries,
mhm,
and most are big names, in fact. And I for the first time, for the first time, I actually joined this big company to produce in ATX. So
mhm,
that's the first time I've actually attended a training around what to look at when you're looking at the email and what to
correct.
avoid and all those stuff. So it was the first time after more than 20 years of working with different companies that
Mhm,
I actually received a training around avoiding this and that in the email, because this is phishing, or this
correct.
will, like,
Mhm,
you know, will cause us to like some breach or whatnot, right? So it's very interesting. But nowadays, I would say like training or having like, it sounds so obvious. It
Mhm.
sounds so simple. You just want them to read their emails carefully, right?
Agree. Yeah, it's
It
my only
sounds so
wish.
simple, right?
Yeah.
Your wish is so simple, but then again, phishing still
Yep.
happens commonly, right?
Yep.
Agree.
In any situation, in any country, in fact, right? So it's really so much about educating and creating more awareness within the organization, and like what
Yep.
Apple said earlier, it has to be a continuous effort that you have to do, right? And again, it has to be an effort from top to bottom, right?
Yep.
So thank you so much for that. Is there anything more that you'd like to add before we end this conversation?
For me, probably I'll start. I'll be starting off, Marlon. Across the different industries that I've been to,
Mm-hmm,
I've joined. I don't know if I was fortunate or unfortunate that every time I joined some of this organization, there's a digital transformation happening.
mm-hmm,
And what I've observed really is, for the that digital transformation to be successful, it has to have into multiple pillars. It should not only be IT and systems. It
mm-hmm,
should include processes. It should include the people. So so it's really more on PPT. And also, of course, let's not forget about cybersecurity.
mm-hmm,
And again, I have to overemphasize on collaboration,
mm-hmm,
because when you do digital transformation, if your systems are still siloed, then everything will follow, will be siloed, from systems to people to processes, and it
mm-hmm,
will not be successful, because the KPI of the entire company
mm-hmm,
will not be actually achieved. And also, what I've experienced in most of this digital transformation is that sometimes it will not hurt if people like us who are in the cyber security organization
mm-hmm,
extend that extra mile of you know, reaching out to start that collaboration. So
true.
specifically, for example, in industries
Mm-hmm,
wherein there are a lot of legacy systems, you have to really reach out and tune down your language to the same language that they understand. So if you're talking to the finance people who are using legacy systems, you have to talk in the language of business. If you're
mm-hmm,
talking to OT people, operational technology people, you have to see it based on where they are coming from in terms of making sure systems are highly available. So
mm-hmm,
always use the lens that they're using to be able to communicate and collaborate with them. And I think us being most people in cybersecurity
mm-hmm,
are multifaceted in terms of skills. So
mm-hmm,
we all know hardware, software security. So and we have to learn that because it's part of securing systems. So let's put that additional skill in
mm-hmm.
securing people, having that real collaborative engagement with people in different organizations.
Thank you, and looking forward to learning from you as well in our upcoming session. Kainas, do you want to add anything from Apple's final comment?
I think I'm satisfied with Apple's comment because it's important to have a collaborative with different types of
Mm.
industry regarding security. So, yep.
Thank you. Thank you so much again, Apple and Kainas, for joining me today. And for those who are watching us live or on a replay, feel free to add in your questions, your takeaway on the comments below. And we'll be sharing as well the link of the upcoming event. Would like to let you know that we might actually move it to a later date, but either way, we look forward to adding value. And making sure that we will help you to create a more cyber resilient organization through the work, through the conversations, through the insights that you will learn from our speakers. So thank you so much, and
Thank you.
let's look forward to creating more cyber resilient digital world. Thank you
Thank
and
you.
have a good day. Bye for
Thank you,
now.
Marilyn. Thank you, Apple.
Thank you, Marilyn. Kenas, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you.
Bye bye.
Bye for now.